So the topic is like, what is push hands and why do we do it so much? Why is it important?
You'll hear neutralizing, you'll hear sticking. These are, you know, all important Fajing, right?
I hear from like we use like a series of keywords. So we talk about ting, which means to listen, right?
Tingjin, Dongjin.
Ting. Hua means to kind of neutralize or change,
hua,
right?
right?
Na is to control, and then fa is the minute where everything clicks and you kind of emit your release or you emit that energy.
Fa, right.
So we use that key, that formula of ting, hua, na, fa.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the use of push hands? Why do we talk about it so much in Tai Chi or White Crane? Is it a way to test structure?
I think it's a way to test, right? Because it's and now they'll say listening to energy, right? But if someone's in a boxing posture, then they're throwing something at you. You know, how are you gonna react to that? Are you gonna worry about things like sticking? And now anyone can disagree, but again, this is coming to me, and you're pulling back. You know, are you gonna? People are gonna say, "Oh, I can stick to that." Can you? Can you stick to that? I'm coming to you.
Yeah, it's hard.
Where's the sticking?
The sticking happens if I decide to follow you.
Right. Now,
but I can't. I mean, the live hand. The most I can do is just like tap it.
Right,
establish
now,
contact.
and even if you're following me, now you're coming into me and you're following me back.
Right, then I get hit. I eat one.
Right. So,
ultimately, I think it's a structure. It's basically a way of active structure testing. Right. So like if you can stand with a kind of an open arrangement, right? So you're pushing against me. Like what I'm trying to do right here, right? And I'm playing with you, whatever. I'm just going to take your pressure first. Is I'm trying to take this forward pressure and displace it to some other part of my body. Right. If I displace it forward like this, right? You push, right? You feel that me hovering, right? But I'm leaving this open.
But if I'm doing the listening,
right? I'm too young, right? I'm too forward,
right?
Or if I can displace it into my abdomen, and right into the point of contact, which is what we do usually, right? You push into me, I push into you. Right, I'm in trouble because I don't have any options, right? So what I try to do, best I can, is either I try to place the displacement somewhere else, or I try to take it with my back leg, right? So if I'm pushing and you're pushing, right? At least I can try to, what I do is I just tighten my back leg and I try to hold it as best as I can. There, I missed it.
But, and there's checking your structure.
Right.
Me pushing on you here, there's a ton of strength. We come in here.
So in Japanese martial arts, they have this concept of kuzushi.
Okay.
Right? So if you were to stand like this, like just your feet sat, you're strong here and here, but directly in front of you and directly behind you. Right?
You're
not 45 degrees, but a little tighter angle, right? Your back muscles can't control that.
Right.
If I pull you here, you can lurch for it, but if I pull you straight down, you're gonna drop. So all I feel, this is just a game with that principle in active motion, right? So like you said right here, I'm here.
Right.
But if I turn you this, that's different.
That's different.
Because I've displaced it and now your center is over there.
Right. What we used to do in White Crane, though, we'd have this two-way thing, and then you can move. Right. And most of the time in the White Crane, the pushing element is into this. Because I don't think, in my opinion, well, when you're playing push hands and you're actually moving, I think it teaches you more of like neutralizing or sticking or getting out of the way or something, or something, whatever it is, right? Where this, will teach you your structure.
Right.
But essentially, really, is that, you know?
Is that the best?
Right. I
Not
mean,
good.
right. So, standing or static is, I don't know, it'll train you maybe.
Would you rather start from static to moving or moving to static?
Well, I think from static, why? Because if you're just doing this, now you're learning, neutralizing, and, you know, giving way and you know, sharing and whatever. You know, you're practicing with your partner. But when it comes to moving, right, I think that trains also your center, right? When you're coming along here, right, like so, but we're moving,
Right.
so that adds a different thing to it, you know. So
Do you think push hands should be done early or later in training? Should we start pushing from the beginning?
yes,
I think so too.
I think so. I think the whole thing of just learning this concept, and I'll tell you what. Okay, we're here. We'll go back. We're here. So you get that concept of lightness, right? And you start understanding relaxation. So when I think that'll teach you the dynamics and principles of the form a little bit more, because you'll notice something. What I noticed, if people are just learning form, when they're learning form, okay, you're learning your structure, you're learning your form, but when they get to push hands, what happens?
Or goes out the window.
You don't know what to do.
You don't know what to do. You get what is the most crucial thing that happens? You get stiff.
You get hard.
You get hard. That's why if you practice this first and you start understanding and learning the concept of relaxing and connecting, when you do that form, then that concept will really be instilled more, you know. Yeah, it depends on the teacher, it depends on the temperament of the class, how they want to learn that. So, because a lot of people, like for instance, that come to my class, they come there to learn a form. That's all that they know. Tai Chi's a form, so they learn a form. Those that want to do push hands, we get into that later, and I know I just said we should learn it first.
Beginning.
We should learn it from the beginning.
Right.
But a lot of students, but you would lose, in my case, I would lose a lot of students doing that because
They're not into that.
they're not into that. They want to learn the form.
I think of push hands as a way, a measured way of testing structure, and you know, but it's not the end all, right? A lot of people get very good at push hands and think that's fighting. Push hands isn't fighting.
No, it's not fighting.
Was
And
it
neither's the form.
push hands developed so that people could play without getting hurt?
In some ways,
Pretty
I
much.
think that was the theory. But now, you know, when you hear about competitive push hands, right? It
Yeah, but
almost,
that's different though.
Yeah, that is different.
down
And
the
that no
line.
longer looks like push
And-
hands. I've seen
right.
a lot of that in Taiwan. That loses push hand quality that turns into a wrestling match. Who can get who out of the circle?
So the story goes is that the first time the Americans came to Chen Village, they kept losing, right, in the push hands game. But when they brought some wrestlers, they were on par, if not a little bit better than Chen style. Because wrestling has a great history. Greco-Roman, freestyle has a great history of what to do in the clinch. So once they learn the rules of the game, and you add on that American brawn, right, it's going to win, right? So I don't think push hands is the end all. Right?
Mm-mm.
It is one of those tools to develop skill, just like everything that we do.
Right.
It's to be more skillful.
Right, I agree. It's a tool, it's a stepping stone towards, well, when it comes down to it, you know, you listen to, like the old guys, I mean, if you listen to their stories, like Bang So Hao, and those guys never losing, never, you know, these guys were more concerned with the fighting part, and how did they get that good at fighting? Push hands doesn't teach you fighting.
Probably fought.
They fought.
Right.
They fought. And of course, the whole concept of what they're using Tai Chi theory. Okay, a fist is coming to my face and I don't know Tai Chi, I'm going to get out of the way of it the best I can, right? So you know, that all that theory and stuff. That's great for learning the form and even in push hands, you know. But I'm still not sold on if push hands can teach you fighting. I'm not sold on that. I never was. You know, I think it's a great tool for helping you learn the form and relaxation and learning yielding and closing, you know, and then opening and all that stuff. But I don't think it's a thing for training you in fighting at all. Because if it were, that guy that got whooped by that MMA guy,
Tai Chi person, it would be amazing.
Right? Now I'm not knocking Tai Chi as a martial art. I'm just saying that the guys from old, they practice fighting too. They practice fighting. You know, that's all there is to it. I think Tai Chi nowadays is taking on more of a health benefit.
It's for your health and for old people so that they have stronger legs so that don't fall down.
Right, right. But I'm not criticizing it neither. I love Tai Chi. I love it. But I got to be honest, there's some things about it that I just don't think really contribute all to fighting. If you want to swim, you jump in water. You know, if you fight, you better practice fighting. You know, sure, use your. And the one thing everyone says, well, use Tai Chi principles. Well, sure, use Tai Chi principles, but use footwork. Footwork's going to save you more than if you're standing here and you're
I think there's a saying in Chinese. It's like